If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And tonight, as you see there in the title, we're talking about episodes 5 and 6. Before episode 6 drops, we'll be doing some speculation here at the second half of the show. The first half is we're going to kind of dig into what we thought about episode 5, kind of recap where we're at, what we're thinking, what's after a week's notice, like how we're feeling now about this. And thankfully, I have 3 wonderful guests that I will introduce here shortly. Please, everyone, welcome or help me welcome to the show, LightBlindedFool, Vance, and Joe. How you both doing? You all 3 did some hand waving. That was awesome. LightBlindedFool, welcome. This is let me give everyone a close up here. Everyone, practice your centering. That's right. LightBlindedFool, thank you so much. This is your first time here with us. Appreciate you jumping on and talking about this. Tell everyone here in your quickest, 30-second kind of summary, when did you start reading The Wheel of Time? What was your origin story?
Yeah, I started reading about when I was 16 or so, in 96, and read up through Path of Daggers, and then went to college and didn't realize what was going on with the Wheel of Time for a while. Picked it back up about 5 years ago, and then when I realized the show was coming out, I found the Dusty Wheel, and that's how I found the fan community. So it's only been a couple of years that I've been in the fan community.
Only a couple of years online. Have you gone spelunking into all the old forums? Have you gone looking to see old conversations, or has it been mostly kind of following podcasts like Joe runs and stuff like that?
Mostly the podcasts. I've done a little spelunking. I need to do more. And thank you for the reminder.
Well, we're not going to do that tonight. We will. We have plenty of shows where we do theorizing with the books, and that will come after the season of The Wheel of Time. Vance, dude, it's been a long time since we've chatted. Thank you very much for jumping in.
It has been. Thank you for having me on today. It's always good to stop by the inn and talk some crazy speculation about what may be happening, what might be coming our way. So always fun.
Yeah, and by the way, we are going to be talking Wheel of Time logistics tonight, and that's why I brought our expert onto the show. Joe from tel'aran'rhiod is here to help correct some things that he saw were going wrong in episode 5.
Always glad to help with the logistics. I feel like I need to be hired as a consultant on the show.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Joe, can you, in 30 seconds, summarize how you feel about the positioning of Loghain's cave as related to the positioning of the Aes Sedai camp in season 1, episode 4?
Well, Matt, somewhat like where they placed the girls in the capture scene, it was too damn far away for there to be any kind of good protection around it. And I will also add that the warders are terrible because they shouldn't be sitting at a fire drinking. They should be in the caves or in front of the caves, protecting their Aes Sedai.
That's right. And everyone, we do have something like that tonight to discuss, and so there's going to be some fun discussion about that. Let me remind everybody in chat, if you are following us on YouTube, you will see us here. At least in YouTube chat, we will not be spoiling anything episode 6 just yet. This first half of the conversation might be only 30 minutes. We'll see how much we want to talk about episode 5 first. We'll be talking just about our reactions to it. Then we'll be jumping in for some speculation. I know there are some people in chat who don't want things spoiled, but if you are here and you don't want any full book spoilers, this is not the night for it. We are going to be digging into what the meaning was of these things that we saw in episode 5. So there will be full book spoilers. We do have a kind of a short non-full book spoiler moment in the show that we do on Thursdays. So tomorrow we will do kind of no spoilers for just the beginning of once the episode's over, kind of that period of time. We try to give anyone who's watching the show that doesn't want any spoilers. But that is I'm going to kind of share, as we discussed tonight, what we have coming up Sunday and Wednesday. For those of you that don't want spoilers, we have 2 shows coming up that I think you'll all be excited about. I will get those up on the screen. We'll share those here shortly. But I want to, I'm going to give this to you, LightBlindedFool. Where do you want to begin when it comes to episode 5? What was kind of for you, the best part of that episode?
Well, I should say Lanfear, but I'm going to say the introduction of Aviendha.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go to that then. I think that's a good one to play here. So let's cover that. Obviously, if you have not seen this, we're going to watch a little bit of this episode here, everybody. So, yeah, and enjoy a little Perrin meeting Aviendha.
I told you, we're not going back to that town. We need to work out where they took Loyal and Ingtar. And they didn't even bury him. But you wait for me here.
By the way, this is like a really Perrin just entering by himself. That's a pretty ballsy moment for him.
I think it's ignorance.
Yeah.
Naivety more than anything. Yeah.
That will be loud, Bystander. Don't want them to hear you.
I wouldn't get too close.
So this one, that whole kind of moment. What did you think about this, Vance? I know LightBlindedFool, this is an important kind of moment for you. Vance, did you like this introduction of Aviendha?
I loved
did it work for you that they kind of came back? Elias was like, they just happened to be passing Atuan, how do you say that? Atuan's Mill?
Atuan's Mill, yeah. So, I mean, everything worked for me. Like, some folks were confused about, like, why Perrin would be going there. It's like, I kind of thought the wolves were showing him that Uno hadn't been buried and that he would value going back to bury Uno. And then he, by happenstance, or, through other means of the pattern, there is Aviendha in the cage. There's a lot of things about that scene I liked. I liked that Perrin, it shows his loyalty to his friends. And then it shows he picks up a hammer, which is symbolic, which I loved. Finally picked up a hammer. And then the entire introduction to Aviendha, who is clearly our Gaul now, was just phenomenal. And then, of course, as Dane comes up there at the end, it's just ties so many things of Perrin's storyline together very nicely, just within that short scene. There's a lot to unpack in it, a lot of symbolism and a lot of different starting points for the storyline. I really feel like this season we're finally properly getting to start Perrin's storyline.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask everyone that same question. By the way, I'm going to end this poll that's in chat. Will we get to the wedding in Cairhien? We're going to talk about that here. About 300 of you have voted on this one. Yes, and we'll see it. 59% yes, but we won't see it. 29% and no, 13%. So I want to come back to that one. Joe, for you, is this Perrin season 2 Perrin working better for you than season 1 Perrin?
Oh, yes. They definitely picked up with Perrin's storyline, which is good to see. Finally, he's actually doing some things as opposed to just kind of sulking and feeling guilty. which is good because I think it's great that they find things to take his mind off of that. I do like what I really liked about that. You mentioned the hammer, but that's like a hammer one side and an axe on the other side.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
If you notice, the one side's wedged, so it's kind of like a dual weapon, if you will.
Right, yeah.
And it's interesting because it represents the dichotomy of Perrin and like which side is he going to use when he's swinging that, which I thought was fun. And if you watch the fight, you can kind of jump back and forth and try to figure out which.
Maybe
side
I could have saw that if the scene was a little bit more visible. Just
Hey, a lot of people say that a lot of people have said they like the kind of the coloring on that. Light-Blinded Fool for you. I asked that question. How did you answer that question just now in chat? Have we seen enough? In other words, we have 5 episodes. Do you feel like we've gotten like the right amount of Perrin at this point, or do you feel like his storyline is still kind of lacking where you hoped it to go in season 2?
Well, I would say that we haven't seen enough of anything. I would watch a full season of just Pater. I mean, but yes, Perrin, more Perrin, yes.
Gotcha. Is there something about Perrin's storyline that you thought we would have seen? I mean, obviously we thought in season 1 we would get Perrin in the White Cloaks. We didn't get, well, I guess we got a little bit of a White Cloaks and Perrin wasn't in the scene, but that's about it. So the idea of Perrin in the White Cloaks in this moment, which happens differently, right? But it involves his relationship with wolves. I kind of wondered, did any of you think to yourself, like, shouldn't Hopper, like he told Hopper to stay, right? Like, you're going to stay over here. Were you surprised that Hopper didn't, were you surprised that Hopper didn't jump in? Like, this wasn't a moment for, him to take out one of the White Cloaks, for example.
I think this was Aviendha's moment. I think, I think Hopper will probably still happen at some point, unfortunately, that scene, but I'm glad it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I thought they might just bring in Hopper in some capacity, not necessarily that Hopper dies in that moment, but I kind of was expecting that relationship because Hopper has kind of treated Perrin like Hopper knows better than Perrin does, right? So Perrin's like, stay here, but Hopper's protective. So I kind of expected to see a little bit of that there. Joe, you were like, I think you shook your head. You thought it was kind of this idea of making this Aviendha's moment and not stealing
I also
that moment,
think
basically.
Yeah, I also think just like working with the wolves is probably difficult in real life, and they were like probably sparingly doing that, right? They're probably going to pick their spots where the wolves are going to fight, or you're going to see fighting wolves, just because it's they're wild animals.
Yeah, that's true. They're saving that moment, maybe,
and that's a very complex battle, right? There's Aviendha and Perrin are both fighting like a dozen White Cloaks, so there's a lot of choreography going on, and I think throwing a wolf into the mix is probably just too much as well.
I do like this comment. How appropriate it is using Amal very close to Gaul. Yes, thank you. That was but I do agree. John said Hopper chomping down on a White Cloak neck would have been awesome. It's some of these moments where, and I feel this strongly. Like they must have known that. So I want to know why. Like you said, maybe they just wanted this to be Aviendha's moment to take on all the White Cloaks, and having a wolf in the mix just kind of changed the dimension of that, because it's an easy moment and it's an obvious moment. So I do wonder, like that, just like, for example, giving us a little bit more Matt in episode 4, right? When he kind of throws the dice out and you're like, you had him there. He's in this bar, he's gambling. You could do a little bit more with it, and I missed that. So there's always, and that's been, when it comes to criticizing this or critiquing the season so far, there seem to be kind of these little missed moments, even though they're hitting on a lot of moments that I'm really enjoying. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, Joe, you feel strongly about one of these missed moments. Let me. Do you mind if I show this video?
Oh, sure, go ahead. I made it just for you, Matt.
This is just for me? Okay. This was Joe's reaction when it came to the scene of Leandrin bringing the girls out of the Waygate, and I just we've talked about this right at the beginning with Loghain. This is Loghain Gate in season 5. So enjoy Joe's rant. This is great.
the
Yes,
girls
wait,
off the
we gotta-
horses and leave. And
I gotta talk about this. I have to talk about this. This is the stupidest scene in the. They take the girls off the horses, put them off out of the way to the side, so this conversation can have. Put them over there by that tree, and then at the end of the scene, so it's like, go get them.
Bring them to me.
When the soldiers took them, why didn't they just bring them right over there? That was the stupid. I was like, this is really stupid.
The diagram is killing
Put
me.
them down and go back.
Yes, and they just left. They just put them.
They went back to the mountain.
They had to hit their marks, Tom.
Together, yes.
Like,
Yes, that's the answer.
you want me to unload them? I'll unload them. Oh, you want me to bring them? I'll bring them too, boss.
I do like that Joe. I think that Tom was like, actually, they were just doing what they were told to do. Like, this is
Exactly.
not. This is not their fault. That was just poor planning on. Obviously, if you wanted an in or inside world moment, Suroth has never had this problem before, and so was not worried about where they dropped them. But clearly, definitely, kind of a plot specific location.
Yeah, it was just I literally I was watching it with my wife. We're watching the show together. And as soon as they take them off the horse, and they even make like a show of it to like really show the Seanchan putting them over to the side. I'm like, why are they putting them off to the side and not bringing them back to the rest of the Seanchan? And like, I got the whole thing. Obviously, they wanted to have a speech, and right. And if this were real world, I'm saying real world, but if this were the books, they would have just put the collars on them right away. But yeah, I know they had to have it, but I don't know. It just was so.
It was a classic. I was listening to your podcast and I was dying laughing, so I had to bring this up. This is true to Max's point. I am so incredibly unbothered by this alleged problem. It did not bother me. This one, the other stuff has bothered me. This one, I was just like, yeah. I mean, this is a little bit of like you said, hitting the marks, and I do love Tom's explanation is my favorite. Tom's just like, I did what I was told. I put him down. So
told me to take him off the horse. We took him off the horse.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I didn't even notice that when I was watching the episode, right? And I think I usually have kind of an eye for kind of goofy things like that. Didn't even register to me because everything else in the episode had just hit so many points that I wanted to see. I was just so happy. So I wasn't even in like critical mode anymore. I was like just here for the ride.
By the way, so obvious though. That's what struck me. How obvious and how they just like was zooming in to show you like, hey, they showed them putting them over on the tree, lying them down. I was like,
by the way, Joe, I think were you the one? No, I think someone said they put the boots in there for me. I feel like they have these moments for you. I feel like somebody was like, somebody put the girls down really close and they're like, nope. Joe needs to be upset about this.
Yeah, it's like a Hollywood thing. I mean, this stuff happens in movies all the time where you're just like, this doesn't make any sense. No one would ever do that. So,
by the way, the comments on this are great. I'm going to end this poll. Have you seen enough Perrin in season 2? It's about 50-50, but no is taking this one. It's about 55% for no. That's an interesting. I mean, again, LightBlindedFool, like you said, this Perrin for me is like I want to see him grow more. So I would have taken as much Perrin that they were going to give. But it's interesting that the audience we have here was kind of like yes and no. It's not like leaning one way or another. I have to know from everyone here if Joe, how do you want to ask this? Does Joe have a point? Okay. About the placement of the captives, and we'll see what our chat members here have to say to you, Joe. It was one of those I didn't even notice it. I don't think until you brought it up, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they are kind of far away. It's just a funny moment. Vance, for you. What was, Perrin's moment meeting with Aviendha, like you said, there's a lot of symbolism there. I think that was, to me, again, still as I go back and watch it, a good introduction of a character that they want to bring into the show. I've said this before, they can't do it the tier way. They can't do it the book way. So how do you get Aviendha into the story? I think this is an obvious one of how to get her into the story. Is there another moment for you in episode 5 where you were like, this was done well as far as, because obviously we're not seeing a ton of scenes from the books, but you thought they did condensing, consolidating, or kind of worked pieces of it into a scene that really worked for you.
I mean, obviously, just to rewind to the beginning of 5 a little bit there, I thought the entire Lanfear chasing after Rand and Moiraine was awesome. And it really got to show us what she's kind of capable of. And then past that, later on in the episode, I really enjoyed when we finally got to meet Barthanes. I thought that was done pretty elegantly. Considering that Rand doesn't get to go to a party and have some noble, like, fancy shindig where he dances with everybody and then keeps scuffing. We already kind of saw that previously when he was with Selene, but obviously Barthanes was absent from there. And then with him prepping for the wedding, there's also a wedding scene we're going to get to see at some point. Like, there's a lot of things here that seem to be working, and perhaps we will still get that Rand Barthanes interaction at the wedding. You know, we don't know yet. We haven't gotten to that point. So, but I just saw his introduction, and then obviously Barthanes' relationship with Moiraine. We didn't really get to see them interact in the books, and then kind of putting that in here.
I'm going to show this one with. I'm going to show this one with Lanfear.
Go ahead,
because I know you're surprised.
Yeah.
So let me show a little bit of this clip. This one had a lot of people talking about Moiraine. And I'm kind of curious about this idea where people feel like Moiraine is being portrayed in a more vicious, view than they have of Moiraine in the books. And you get a little bit of that cruelty also and viciousness right here from Lanfear. And this is why did this one strike you as a good adaptation moment for you for Lanfear and kind of the chase after?
Okay.
Like, what was it about this moment?
Just everything from how she kind of plays herself, right? Like, she kind of steps back into Selene. She plays a role, and then as soon as she has what she needs, she gets rid of the problem in her way and steals his horse and goes on. We've seen Lanfear move through the world of the Wheel of Time. She kind of did more in, before, a little bit more in disguise. But definitely I read kind of into her character as I was reading the books that there were moments like this where when she was done with people, she's done with them. She doesn't need them anymore. She has one goal. We all know what that goal is. And anything that gets in her way is an obstacle that just has to be cleared.
Yeah, I think that moment, like you were talking about, I think the thing you brought up, I think that I absolutely agree with, is she kind of was like Lanfear, Selene, Lanfear, and all in just a couple moments,
right?
Just to manipulate that person into giving her the information or what she wanted. And immediately as she knew they were expendable,
boom,
they were expendable.
Yep.
But if she had thought that they were, because you do see this a little bit later with the woman that took the horses, right? She didn't need the horse from her. Right, she needed the horse this guy was on, and the easiest way to get him off of it was kill him. Right, like she killed him. Okay, she can take the horse. She didn't need the other, and she was cruel, but she left her alive. Joe, did that surprise you? Were you like, no, she would have killed her? Were you shocked that it was just like, no, they sewed up her lips, or did you find that to be kind of, no, that's on point for Lanfear as far as she might see the humor of that?
My favorite part of that scene was when she asked about Rand and like what kind of mood he was in or whatever. Like, she asked after him, and I think the stable woman was like, he seemed in a daze or something, or and that the other, Moiraine was the one kind of leading that, and you could see like she was very pleased with that. Like, she's like, oh, he still has feelings for me. That's what she's thinking right there in that scene. Yeah. So maybe that's why she didn't kill the woman, because she was happy about that part.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, like she said something that changed her kind of like disposition,
right?
And he said something that changed her disposition, as in like what information she was pissed off. I like that idea. It was like her mood change. And so she kind of left her kicking. LightBlindedFool, do you concur? Is this like, do you agree that she was like in a different mood, and so she's like, okay, well, I'm just going to sew your mouth together and leave, but I'm not going to kill you. Is that how you read it, or do you just don't think that she always kills in these moments, and it's just kind of worked well with her character.
I think it's more casually cruel to sew the mouth shut, which plays into what Moiraine said about her. But yeah, I think she was just kind of trying out her, newfound or refound abilities after being woken up, and she's like, "Hey, can I still do this?" Like, that might be kind of fun, and certainly, gets my point across. So why not?
Yeah. Yeah, it does leave a trail, and so I do think this is also part of it about Lanfear. Lanfear likes the stories about Lanfear. Does that make sense? Lanfear likes to leave just the idea that they talk about in the Second Age, that people eventually were afraid to fall asleep. Right? They were afraid to fall asleep because of what she would do, and I think the idea of leaving behind some idea of this is, a trail of notoriety is definitely something I think is on point for her. I'm going to end this poll. I asked, does Joe have a point about the placement of the captives? Joe, 70% were with you, man. 70%.
Right on.
I did see this idea, the idea of mixing Lanfear and Semirhage. LightBlindedFool, do you think that that's what's happening here, or do you think they're just taking some stylistic and kind of like their read of Lanfear, or do you think that maybe they're giving a little bit of Semirhage to Lanfear, and we're not going to see Semirhage?
I don't like that we're not going to see Semirhage, but it's quite possible. I can see why there might be like 4 and 4, and if so, Semirhage's still in. But if they have 5 boys and 3, then probably not. I don't mind them combining them, I guess. But I don't think that the black outfit necessarily signifies that.
No,
I think that's more like Rafe being like, I wonder what she'd look like if she was just chilling in tel'aran'rhiod.
By the way, Rant Elmore, what show are you on, man? He said it's just one thing. Laugh out loud. Let's not jump to conclusions. That is not this show. This is jumping to conclusions is part of the fun.
Someone link him to like a 50-page manifesto on Theoryland about one specific detail, please.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think we're going to get Semirhage. I think it's just Lanfear, and they're showing, like you said, casual cruelty, and also like I think that whole idea of kind of leaving some notoriety behind her. Right, that woman is going to go back to the stables. She's going to find. Is that her husband? I'm assuming, or whoever it was. They're going to find, and there's going to be a story, right? That leaves someone to tell the story about Lanfear. That's so on point for Lanfear, in my opinion.
As long as she can still talk.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. My daughter was convinced. They're definitely like kind of just like cut that open, and she'll be able to talk for sure.
Yeah.
So okay, for you, Joe, is there a moment similarly? Bringing Lanfear in and kind of introducing Lanfear finally to an audience and adapting that piece, Perrin, and kind of giving Aviendha a moment to jump into the show and introducing her. Was there something there where you thought, again, they introduced a particular character, or a moment that, while not in the books as the way that we've seen it, because like we've known, there's just not a ton of scenes. There's very few of those scenes per scene, but you thought that they kind of merged things were happening in a way that felt very kind of Wheel of Time for you?
I mean, just the whole, fight scene with Aviendha was great. And then the scene after that with her and Perrin, I loved, when you get just more Aviendha. Just give me more Aviendha. I'm happy. And just the Seanchan in general, like everything they're doing with the Seanchan, I really, really like. I love the way they've portrayed the Seanchan, the costumes. We saw some Dakovali in their white robes, or whatever, diaphanous clothing. We saw other blood with head shaves. We saw Soroth without her helmet on. We saw nails get cut. I mean, how awesome was that?
Yeah.
So I'm just really enjoying everything that's going on with the Seanchan, and I love the way that they're doing the Seanchan. It's just give me more Seanchan.
Yeah, this intro I thought was really effective.
A little upset we didn't get more Fane. He just has like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and he's gone.
The Fane entries to me are. I thought they were going to do more with him, and I'm a little bit. I don't know what to think about like what they are going to do with him. So I want to talk about that. But yeah, just seeing this entry right here that we're talking about as they come in, and yeah, I think they've done a good job of kind of showing the alien nature and then the ruthless nature of these people and the kind of unique customs they also have. It's like, yeah, the Seanchan, I think they have caught the Seanchan so far. Be interesting to see if they can kind of land this. I don't know. Every time she moves those fingers, I liked it in like the first one, and then like every time they get that sound, it's almost like Fane's whistle, like as they cut through the air. But I guess those are the last time we'll see those, as they were cut away. So yeah, Fane is an interesting one, and maybe that is because I haven't heard much talk about Fane. Vance, what do you think is happening with what you've seen so far up through episode 5? Why do they have Padan Fane still here, and what do they plan to do with him? Like, what's your theory?
So we know Fane in the books like is integral for several key storylines. That's why he's still showing up. However, one thing that is different is we do have some very short point of view chapters from Fane. We have some very short point of views from him in the books, which we're not getting any scenes focusing on him doing things in the show. And I feel like that's one of those missed opportunity areas where, and I mean, this is not a fault of them. They don't have enough time. Let's just be real. They still don't have enough time, even cutting the intro. I'm appreciative for the more we got, but they don't have enough. So it's really hard to build his motivations to see what he's doing, right? Because like Fane should be moving in a different direction by this point, and he's currently not. So I think they may push that into season 3 and have like a snap moment for him where things change. That's one way they could do it. And it could be something like he gets in a scuffle and he breaks the ruby on the dagger and stuff, So I don't know how they're going to get him to where he needs to be for that, unless he just stays in his lane and does that under orders. So yeah, I don't know. He feels a little underutilized.
Yeah, it's just really interesting. Like, even if you just watch this scene right here, like this doesn't feel like a different characterization than any Fane that we've seen so far. Like, this feels like the same Fane in the first episode, right, of season 1. Do you disagree with that, Joe? Do you think that there's been anything different about his characterization?
I mean, I like the way he's portraying him. It's definitely different from the books for sure. But yeah, Vance made a really great point about how we're not getting like a look behind Fane like we are with, and he's just always like in somebody else's scene. Except, we get that short scene at the end of episode 8 where he kind of monologues for a bit, and that's like the most we've gotten from who Fane is, like what Fane's all about. And otherwise, he's just showing up and doing a cameo 3-second bit here or there. So I don't know. I mean, I can see them like severely shrinking his role in the show because of that. I mean, he's got a big role in the books or an important role, but it kind of fizzles out at the end. And I could see them just kind of cutting it or shrinking it down and just kind of writing around it. I don't want them to, but I could see them doing it.
But I like this village mattress. Fane was using the cat crosses the courtyard.
yeah, for sure.
So, okay, but we do see in the trailer, if I remember correctly, we see the dagger show back up, right? But we don't know in what context it shows up. We see, I think in one of the behind the scenes footage or like early stuff, we saw a scene of like Padan Fane walking through a hallway, and we see him also around what we thought. Didn't we see him like we think he's maybe near a waygate? I thought that's what we saw. Like, or we see him like in a, what do you call it? There's like sand behind him. He's in a, I can't think of the word.
He's outside, and there's like a rocky, dry outcropping in the background.
Yeah. So, well, we haven't seen those in the show yet. LightBlindedFool, do you think we're going to get more Fane, Or do you think we're just going to get these kind of light touches? There's a whistle here. He kind of comes in and he plays a role, but he never gets a kind of a significant plot arc.
Well, I'm curious if he'll be in the scene with Matt and the dagger that we saw. But I kind of like that they're keeping him mysterious because he was kind of mysterious in the books as well. He's almost like the anti-ta'veren. Like he's showing up at just the right spots to mess with the pattern instead of going with the pattern. And it's kind of an interesting balance against our, main characters, even though they haven't really explained ta'veren very well in the show yet.
Yeah, no, they haven't. And I sometimes forget it, like because they don't talk about it. Sometimes I'm like, why did that even happen? And then I go back later and I'm like, oh well, yeah, the books were like that too with the things that happened, the plot armor, if you will. About 200 of you voted on this. Are we ever going to see the more death side of Fane? 65% of you said yes. Okay, so there's still some hope out there. I like this comment by Claire. Maybe more death has already happened, just they have amped up the self-control. Could Fane be playing Ishii and pretending to be loyal? I think that's possible. And the reason why I say that, I want to play this scene one more time because I hadn't looked at it too closely before. Let me show you. Just catch the look. He'll look at him, and as they look away, he kind of has like he almost plays into that idea that there's something else, like he wasn't just kind of like obediently doing this for Ishamael. He had his own agency in that moment, and maybe there's something behind that look. So I do wonder if he's playing, Ishamael here. So let me ask everyone there, is Fane playing Ishamael as far as, or is this Mordeth playing as Fane playing Ishamael? How about that? Because I think you're right, Joe. Like I do wonder if they've just decided there's just too many people, and so Padan Fane has a role, and he gets the horn out to, to Turok. Would Padan Fane's death bother you, Joe? Like if he's someone else that they take out in the end here, would that be a waste of a character? Even though you just said, well, his ending was kind of like blah in the books. Like, how do you feel about if they just kind of went with that and he died?
So I'm trying to think of like some of the bigger things that we need him for, and I feel like one of them is the Rand's wound with the dagger. I think that's important. I mean, it's really important in the books in the sense of it's a very good mechanic that Jordan wrote into there of how Rand kind of figures out how to cleanse the taint. I mean, they could obviously just do that another way, right? Someone could read something in a book and find it, like, but that's really cool, and that's a fun part of the story, how that's like sitting there for all that time, and then Rand constantly brings it up, and then it actually means something later on. Him influencing Elida, you don't really need that. You don't need Fane in there to do that. The Two Rivers part, right, which we probably will be getting next season, you could write around that, or maybe that's where he dies. Who knows?
Yeah.
But other stuff, I really can't think. I don't know if anyone else here can think of any other like big things that he needs to do.
I think the Two Rivers, you can get away with not using him there, right? That seems pretty easy. Just what I mean by that is the way, as assertive as they've made Ishamael be part of the plot, his own, like the plots that he has going on, as much that like he's in the scene here next to Fane, right? Like that is some micromanagement right there. You know what I mean? Like he's there, and I understand, I think, why they're doing that. It's just, I think you don't need Fane to be doing some of the things he's doing with the Two Rivers. But again, they would have to cut out some substantial plot lines or give them to other people. I saw this question. Penny said, I don't get the question in the poll. The poll says, is Mordeth playing as Fane playing Ishamael? Yes, it is two questions in one there. And that's what we like to do around here. The idea being, is this Fane, just the normal Fane and not Mordeth? There's no dagger Mordeth, anything. Or has there been a change, but he's kind of playing it up as Fane because he doesn't want Ishamael know that that there's a split here, and that he's of a different evil, background now, if you will, or combination. They've really changed it, and so it does make me wonder. I see a lot of hope here, honestly. That's 210 of you voted yes, 67%. I don't know. Like, I do see a little something in those eyes there, but it makes me feel like they're not. I mean, consider what happened with the dagger, right? In the end of the season 1. And then they're not really playing up the dagger too much. I know we haven't seen Matt, and we know that it's going to come into play here, but not so much from a, like, it's creating this aspect to Fane's character. So it makes me wonder. I'm maybe the dagger, maybe Fane doesn't have it. Does Fane have the dagger?
He should.
Like, maybe I'll ask everyone that.
LightBlindedFool,
he's the last person we saw with the dagger.
Right, but he could have given it to, in other words, did he give it to Leandrin? Did he, you know what I mean? What does he still hold it, or does Shamael have the dagger now? You know, like, how are they playing the dagger thing? It's an oddity here.
We didn't see it in the scene.
Yeah, they don't see it. They don't kind of even give a hint. Maybe that's good. 225 of you know this is Mordeth playing as Fane playing Shamael. 63% say yes. So when Skeeter said when Hatch has to explain his poll, I walk away confused. Yeah, I know. That's a thing. That's a thing here. I do like the Seanchan side. That one I feel like has been pretty universal from people that at least are watching the show and enjoying it. But I haven't asked non-readers. So I want to go back. I'm gonna share this with you right now. We're gonna be switching here shortly, I think, to talking episode 6. But this is happening on Sunday, everyone. If you have been following these YouTubers who are also watching the show along, and they have not read the books. I don't know if you've seen Matthew and Shannon, but we're gonna be talking to them on Sunday. So come talk all about episode 6. We're going to be chatting about their reaction to episode 6 on Sunday afternoon. We'll post this video up here in a bit. But yeah, they're a lot of fun to watch. I've been watching them. There's a couple of YouTubers that are reacting to the show that have been they've been a blast. So we'll be talking to them on Sunday, and then this is happening next Wednesday. So for those of you out there that don't want things spoiled by us book readers, we are going to bring on Addison, Brandon, and Cairhien from Everyday Negroes. They're going to come on and talk to us about their experience, everything they've kind of been thinking. I just watched their reaction to episode 5 the other night, and I was dying laughing. So I can't wait to talk about that. This is like Sunday and Wednesday. We'll have, for those of you that are like, okay, I can't send them over to the Dusty Wheel. There'll be too many spoilers. Those will be non-spoiler events in chat, if you will. So we'll keep those, and this will be a lot of fun. So we'll post those 2 videos here soon. Again, join us on Sunday and Wednesday. I think, that's gonna be fun. And then we'll dive back in with full spoilers like we normally do. But I wanted to kind of chat with them. Joe, have you talked to, I mean, obviously you have a guest on your show, right? What's been his reaction, having not read the books, to the Seanchan? Has it been, like, what has he said?
So just in general, he thinks, he's liking this season much better. I think he specifically said like last week that it's like a totally different show than the first season. Like, it's a much better show. And he's really enjoying it. And he's very critical. If you listen to our podcast, he's very critical of things. So he's really enjoying this season. He likes the Seanchan. I don't remember anything specific feedback about it, but he's also enjoying Perrin's parts much more. He was very vocal about Perrin being just like a terrible character, or at least, the way he's being portrayed in this show. And he kind of made this interesting comment, which I thought was fun, was that the way they're cutting him into the show seems a little awkward. And he said, if they probably, like, when the show's over, if they just took all the Perrin scenes and played them in sequential order, it would probably make a lot more sense and feel a lot smoother. But
gotcha.
It's a little
so
awkward.
Disconnected.
Yeah, but it, like, the way they're cutting them in seems a little awkward and disconnected. But yeah, I'm trying to remember if I can't remember if there's anything specific about the Seanchan, but he's really liking everything about the show this season.
Yeah, that's been, well, I think most of our experiences so far that I've spoken with fans and those who are not fans. Actually, my wife, the last episode for her was too slow. I don't know if there's some Lanfear bias or something there, but she was like, no, that one didn't. But up until that point, she had really been engaged by the show itself. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how episode 6 hits for her. But everyone that I've talked to, like, just generally is like enjoying season 2 more than season 1. But yeah, I think it has to do with the introduction of these new characters. But to your point, Joe, about Perrin, I think it's because he's kind of in this traveling mode, right? Like Rand is basically stationary, right? And so you can kind of build, things are happening in the same city. You go back, he goes someplace, but he's there. Perrin's like traveling. And even you look at like Loyal and Ingtar, they're like now in Falmo, right? So you're not like they're stationary. You know, you have these characters, but Perrin is still moving, right?
Yeah.
He's still on a journey, and so you kind of like all this stuff's happening, and let's show him walking, and doing something, finally getting somewhere. So I wonder if it will feel better in the last 3 episodes. I wonder if we'll get Perrin more stationary and it'll come together.
Yeah.
I want to believe that they can pull off Perrin in the 2 Rivers in season 3. Like, I want to believe that, and I need more Perrin, I guess, to believe that.
More Perrin, yes.
Yeah, I need more development of him, if you will.
That's a big opportunity for them in next season, and it's hard to screw that up. I think that's just such an amazing part of the entire series. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire series.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to screw that up. So.
Yeah. I want to believe the development going into it. So I'm really hoping we get a lot more of him. I'm going to share now. You 3 have shared some of your favorites. I'm going to share this one, which shouldn't surprise you, which scene I'm about to share here. And I will mute it so we can kind of talk over it. But this is the scene here between. This is right at the end here. Let me jump ahead. Here we go. Watching people react to this moment is so funny.
Yep.
You have Rand supposedly lying on this bed with a Shamael right there, and next to him, caressing his face, getting a little closer. And I remember like people's reaction. I like LightBlindedFool. You have a screenshot from this very thing. And then having Lanfear like come into his dreams, if you will, and mess with the Shamael. This whole scene was really, really well done.
Yes.
And I remember my wife at one moment kind of like they show Rand and she's like, what is happening? Because in her mind, this is like they haven't really introduced the dream world very well. And so you had to, this was their introduction. And I liked it as a book reader. I do wonder how this worked for people that were not, didn't know anything about this world, but I thought this was such an effective scene that kind of broadened the idea of who these people were. I saw a lot of reactors kind of just be like, oh, this is, I can't remember what Addison said. I thought one of them said something about like she's a dragon lover or something like that. I don't know. She said something about that. Like, and I was just like dying. I was like, yes, that is true. But yeah. He was in. No, he wasn't. Oh, he was in that wasn't Lanfear's. Well, it depends on how you interpret. I'm going to say this. On the metaphysics side, none of us can say exactly what they were intending. And what I mean by that is Lanfear controlling it, Lanfear jumping into his dream, Lanfear. There's a variety of ways that this could be. I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but this is Kate. Kate, thank you. One of their comments was Forsaken Zoom meeting. That was freaking great.
I think they make a comment that she's in his dream, messing with his dreams.
Yeah, he does.
She says that. Yeah.
He says, you're messing with my dreams. How she's messing,
I mean,
that's the fireplace just tips you off, right? It's got to be she's dreaming. It's got the fireplace in there.
Yeah,
but
and
what I really liked,
shard and
but what I really liked about this though was that Lanfear showed up as Rand, so she's wearing Rand's clothes, so she's wearing Rand's long shirt right there.
Yeah, her clothes didn't change at all. She didn't switch. She didn't switch into clothes. Yeah.
Yes, this is definitely my favorite scene of the episode. There's a lot of good scenes here.
Mm-hmm.
All the work that they're doing between. I mean, it's so tough because that scene between Moiraine and Lady Anver, with Lord Barthanes, this is just a great one. If you go back and just kind of pause it and look at everyone's reactions, like Moraine's reactions, Rand's reactions, Lord Barthanes, to everything people are saying, and just watch their faces and pause when they have multiple faces on the screen at the same time. So you're kind of like stuck on looking at one. Just this is really, really well done also. And having kind of stopped in that scene, LightBlindedFool, we have to ask this question to everybody. How many dark friends do you see on the screen right now?
2.
Do you see on the screen? If you go back and see this, listen to this later, and you don't see this, we'll say 0, 1, 2, and this is the scene where Lady Anver and Lord Barthanes. Yes, Moraine's on this. You can see the back of her head. I'm not putting 3 as an option. I'm not. There's loony, and then there's ridiculous. So we're not going to go down that road. But yeah, this is. I feel like I'm 99% sure he is. I'm not sure about her. I don't know, and so they could be just playing us here, which is that kind of right. It's almost that moment like where you're like, I'm sure it's this guy, so it must be her. So my being sure about him makes me want to lean like, no, it's her. It's not him. So
I could see them doing that just to mess with the book readers, because it doesn't really matter who's the dark friend, right? It's not like if they switched it to her, it's not like, I mean, some people might be like, oh, why'd they do that? But if they did it, it would just be to mess with us. So I think that would be the only reason to do it.
It's no big deal if it's Barthanes or Anver, but I'm leaning towards Anver because of the way she approached Rand at the party. She had a very knowing smirk on her face, and she's how did you claw a destitute noble family out of poverty? There's lots of ways you could do it. None of them are dignified. think she went with the most dignified solution she could find. So, I mean, she's got the motivation. She's got the desire to have the name mean something in Cairhien, right? So, she definitely is my front runner. But I would not be surprised if it's both or only either or.
I wouldn't be surprised with however they did it, right? Mm-hmm. They could go 0 and just play this idea.
That would be surprising to me. If they went 0, that would be really surprising.
Like Joel said, dark friends are everywhere. Yeah, it would. It would be surprising, but it wouldn't ruin it for me, right? It would just be like these people, people seem like dark friends for a variety of reasons that aren't, but often are. I'm going to answer this question of how many dark friends you see on screen. I'm not talking about the 4 of us. And the answer was 1 or 2 really kind of pulled this. 1 got 48%, 2 got 44% of that, about the 200 of you that answered this poll. So, and by the way, if you're watching this on Twitch, on Twitter, or on Facebook, you can just jump over on YouTube. If you want to answer the polls, you want to jump into chat and kind of participate here. We won't see some of the comments you're making on those platforms and be pulling them into the show. So you can always jump over here and be with us. For you, LightBlindedFool, how did you answer that question?
I answered 2 because I mean, if Anvir's not a dark friend, she's really, really strong on the light because she has so many opportunities over the years to be corrupted with all of the things that she's had to go through to pull the whole family together. And at the same time, if she's not a dark friend, then she's really a bad parent.
if she's not a dark friend, she's a bad parent.
I mean, not if just for the haircut alone that she let her son have.
That's good. I like that. Okay. I thought we'd jump into this quicker, but we didn't. There's so much to cover in episode 5, but we are at that point of the episode. Let's talk episode 6. For those of you that are in chat, we're going to watch the teaser. We're going to watch the clip. We will still talk about episode 5, but we're going to start breaking down speculation and theories about what's going to happen in episode 6 coming up tomorrow. Why do we believe X is going to take place? We're going to cover the teaser. We're going to cover the clip. The one thing I'm not going to cover, I know this bothers some of you. The one thing I'm not covering is if there was a scene in that. I haven't watched it, and that's why I'm not covering it. I haven't watched the season 1 full spoiler kind of thing, like in season 1. If there's something in there, please don't bring it up because I'm not going to know what it is, and it's not going to be relevant to this part of the conversation. I know. Hopefully, there's not too many of those things that are. They're going to bother those of you in chat who are like, I want to be able to talk about this theory. Yeah, that's. I want to keep some of this discussion as people go back and watch this. It's about things that these things that we've seen, and those of us that are talking here. So, okay, I think I've given enough people out there time to leave if they don't. Thank you to the mods for being here and walking away. I know that some of you don't want these things spoiled. Hopefully, those of you that remained in chat, let's enjoy the next little bit here. So, what do you want to go to first, LightBlindedFool? You want to watch that clip, or do you want to watch the season or the episode 6 teaser?
Ooh, I think the clip, since we're talking about Moiraine.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Lanfear.
This is that's a great. If you haven't seen this clip, it was dropped by Entertainment Weekly today, and we'll pull the volume up on this one, and yeah, enjoy this. We'll talk about this. There's a lot to talk about.
Sister, I haven't slept, and sometimes I wonder how we all fell for it. My son worships you, as I worshipped you, as father. Don't. He asked for you. He was dying, and I was there holding his hand, and he just kept asking for you. We sent word to the White Tower. You knew that he was dying and that the only thing he wanted was you. You knew. What was so important that you couldn't come home and hold your own father's hand while he left us? I know you never cared for me, but you loved him. You always loved him. What was so important, Moiraine? I want you out of this house and out of this city tomorrow. I am the elder sister. I am the Damane heir. And this house is mine if I want it. You and your son are here by my good grace. You got none of what made him good, Moiraine. None of it. You are mother, through and through.
Oh, sheesh. There it is.
Wow.
Okay.
Incredible acting.
Yeah.
And
that was good. It's the first time I watched it.
Great scene. Yeah, like, does that, Joe, I saw you like shaking your head. Are you now more interested in episode 6? Like, do you want to kind of see what does that all mean, to you? What did you, I guess, pick up from that moment?
I mean, it's a continuation of what we've been seeing between Moiraine and her sister, I think. Her sister asking her questions and Moiraine just not answering is, that's been what's going on for the last, I think, 2 episodes or one episode. I can't remember now how many. I think this is her 2nd episode or full episode. Yeah, I like the reference to the father and the mother, right? Because I think in the books, right, like her father was like the only good Damane, I think, that they mentioned, like all the Damane are kind of conniving a-holes except for her father. So they reference that there. Moiraine, though, pulling the older sister card on her.
Yeah, that was
kind of
that was brutal.
I mean, they're really making Moiraine like really look bad in this season, and just showing how single-minded she is, and she'll do. I mean, she says it in the books, and she said it in the 1st season. I killed them myself before I let the Dark One have them, and
yeah.
she's sticking to that.
Well,
I'll
I
burn
feel
every
like
bridge.
I feel like they took that, right. That is something that is real. And I just don't think we get point of views where we're really seeing a lot of that. But I mean, look at what she did in book 2. Like, she was out there looking for ways to, like, ruthlessly take down protect Rand at all costs, right? And even something like Balefire, like willing to use that to, however the Aes Sedai might feel about that kind of weave, willing to do those things to protect the world from, someone turning, and also protect Rand as he goes. So they are definitely leaning into that aspect of her. But honestly, the Aes Sedai are supposed to have poise, right? They're supposed they're not supposed to, like, they go through training. So there's not this, like, she's definitely digging into that training, right? This entire, like, that seems to be where she's found some, like, at the very least, she can control that aspect of her life. She's lost the ability to channel, but, as it relates to her, interacting with others, like, she is on a mission, and she is showing just why, she's respected and probably feared a bit and whispered about as an Aes Sedai. So, that is, but she's nice to her nephew though.
But,
like, go ahead.
Speaking of that Aes Sedai training, specifically the Aes Sedai test for Moiraine in New Spring, the final test there really was having to leave, like, her, I think it was her mother dying, and her father was pleading for her to stay or something like that. It might have been the other way around. And so that was really poignant when Lanfear is saying, like, where were you? What's more important than being there for your father? And that's exactly the decision she had to make at the end of her test.
Interesting.
And
Oh
she
man,
just
that's a good
turns
one.
away,
Well, shoot. Okay, Innkeeper, if you're still out there, go get that quote, man. Get us that quote. I want to post that up on. That's a great one. LightBlindedFool, bringing New Spring in. I love that. That's actually. I want to talk a little bit about this. I don't know if you all felt this way about season 1, but I didn't feel like I was afterwards excited to talk about it that much. Like, go back and watch certain scenes to dig out interesting kind of bits of and pieces. I feel right now I'm just trying to enjoy it, and that I feel like after it's over, I'm going to want to go back and really look at what Varen was doing in a scene, and really look at what Liandrin and others were doing in certain scenes. And like you said, looking into the books and seeing how certain characters were characterized and what they might have been pulling from. This season has made me much more interested in doing that so far. Like, that's how I'm feeling. I don't know. I'm seeing you shake your head. Are you all kind of feeling that? Like,
oh yes,
like there's a lot to dig into, but right now we're just kind of floating along the top and really enjoy. Except for LightBlindedFool, it was like rereading New Spring and pulling in like the testing. So nice.
It was there in season 1 though, but I get what you're saying. You just didn't feel like you wanted to go look it up.
I wasn't like dying to go look it up. Does that make sense? Like, this I feel like, oh man, later in October and November, I've already gone back and rewatched these episodes more than I've ever gone back and rewatched like season 1 episodes. Like, I'm already feeling that, right? So that has been a really cool improvement. But specific to the scene, by the way, I asked everyone in chat here, are you more or less sure Moraine's sister is a dark friend now? 48% said more. That scene made them more likely to believe it. 26% said less, and 26% said I never thought she was. So it definitely, for those that thought she was, that scene really played into that feeling. You're shaking your head, Joe. Like, wow.
If anything, that scene makes me less, like, she seems much more sincere in this scene, and like you're getting why she has this this problem with Moiraine. Is there's a lot behind that, like Moiraine leaving. You're learning about all the effects that Moiraine leaving had on her, and the stress that it caused on her, and what she was left to deal with. I mean, maybe they're just leading. Maybe this is all just laying the groundwork for, like, this is why she became a dark friend.
Yeah.
But I feel like the happy-go-lucky Barthanes is probably going to be the one who's the dark friend. And I'll just say this, I mean, the queen's going to be dead by the end of the season, right? I mean, this is I'm pretty sure Queen Galdrian will be dead by the end of the season. It's not going to end well in Cairhien.
Yeah, that I do like that they're pulling that in. You know, when you think of Tom's, like, not having Tom here, although I kind of wish that, like, we all just don't know and they have Tom. Like, I want us to get to a wedding scene, and I want Tom to be there. Like there's, like we just don't know that he was part of the season, and he just shows up. That would be, I would love that. I did get sent some images about this scene from Newspring. Hold on a second. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. So, let me show these. LightBlindedFool, you brought these up. Thank you. I think I'll show this one here. One second. This was another of the useless weaves producing only a shower of shining, colorful flecks. If woven incorrectly woven, it would redden her skin painfully as from a bad sunburn she began very carefully. Her father walked out of the colonnade right in front of her in a long coat of a style at least a year out of fashion, with bars of House Demodred colors marching from his high collar down to below his knees. He was very tall for a Cairhien man, just an inch short of 6 feet, with hair more gray. Anyways, the next one does, and this kind of speaks to what they were playing. I mean, this feels like clearly that they were playing at this in ways that I never would have even guessed. I just enjoyed the scene. But, you have this kind of like, Moiraine, you must come with me immediately. It's your mother, child. She is dying. There's just time if you come now. I love you, Father. Please tell Mother that I love her with all my heart. So, yeah, like brushing past him, she limped toward the second star. She thought he called after her, that he ran after and plucked at her sleeve, but her mind was a haze from the effort of keeping a smooth face and a steady tread. A stumble, really, but she neither. Anyways, really, thank you very much, Kate, for throwing those over. LightBlindedFool, that like totally changes that. What we just saw right there, that is really, really cool. Like again, I don't dismiss concerns that fans have where they're like, we're not seeing the type of adaptation I was looking for, but that stuff was really, really, that's just well done. That's someone who cares about the material and took and flipped that idea and took that testing that Moiraine and that like puts it on her. So man, that's so good. So anyways, thank you, LightBlindedFool. That was a really cool addition to the conversation.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Other comments from the three of you as far as what we just saw. Like it sounded to me, did this give you a clue as to whether or not we will see a wedding or not? Like she came in and she was like really pissed about how she had treated her nephew. Is that kind of what you gathered from that scene? Like it felt like, and maybe do you want to go back and watch that one again? Like,
sure.
Let's go back and watch it one more time. Cause I'm still not sure of the inciting incident.
Yeah. That's the question I kind of have here. So,
but something that maybe made Barthanes look bad. Or,
yeah,
let's.
I'm gonna listen a bit closer to what she's saying here. So.
Sister, I haven't slept, and sometimes I wonder how we all fell for it. My son worships you, as I worshipped you, as father. Don't. He asked for you, you know. He was dying, and I was there holding his hand. And he just kept.
He said, "My son fell for it. We fell for it."
We sent word to the White Tower. You knew that he was dying, and that the only thing he wanted was you. You
could put captions on, I think, Matt, for this.
Oh, can I?
What was so important that you couldn't come home?
Let me press pause and turn those on.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It does. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she said at the beginning. I think she said we fell for it. I can't. And then she mentioned her son worshiping.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back and see that kind of piece again.
We fell for it, as in all of her family,
Sister,
like that she's so great.
And sometimes I wonder how we all fell for it. My son worships you, as I worshipped you, as father.
Okay, so it wasn't like anything necessarily that her. There's something right at the end. Like she tells her she wants her out, of course, but does she say anything else?
I am the elder sister. I am the Damodred heir. And this house is mine if I want it. You and your son are here by my good grace.
You got none of what made him good, Moiraine. None of it. You are mother, through and through.
It's a good one because it doesn't really spoil much. I thought that there was a little bit more about the son of what that might be, but it seems like clearly something happens where she feels like Moiraine duped her in some form or fashion.
Yep.
And I don't know what that is, right? Like, so, and we don't know. I don't know. Do the three of you, does anyone in chat have any idea of like what that duping might be?
I mean, I saw someone in chat point up that maybe there was something for the wedding that Moiraine messed with. I mean, it's possible, especially if they get like some inkling of dark friends being involved in planning it. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the wild speculation train here.
Yeah.
So
it could be just something as simple as Moiraine saying like, "I'm not coming to your wedding."
yeah. Or insulting somebody, like we know how the game of houses is. So
that's true. Yeah. Like you're right. I think I like the idea of like maybe an insult there. By the way, I know I'm waiting. Village Mattress. Before he says this, I will say this. This is a live call and talk show. Please give me a call at 1-313-825-5968. Feel free to give us a call 1-313-825-5968. And then we're going to jump to the trailer. Yeah, the teaser. Let's go watch the teaser, everyone. This is, I don't even know how to I don't know. Let's watch this. I've watched this already and I just don't understand like what this means at the beginning of this. So
yeah, all right.
I will turn on some subtitles so we can read those as they go. Hopefully that, and I'll turn on up the volume on this. And here you go, everybody.
If you are dark friends want to Lanfear, you shall not leave this place. Move aside.
If what you say is true, then all of our sisters are in grave danger.
There's a place on the outskirts of the palace complex where they keep the Damane. They call it the kennels.
What is this place? Your home.
Underneath that sweet exterior, if anyone can survive that place, it's her.
Like,
I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to watch if you bare knuckle murder somebody.
This, I just, if you were a dark friend sworn to Lanfear, like what?
Yeah,
you got to be related to the poem, and they think that somehow Moiraine and Lan are involved with Lanfear because Lan was hanging out of the poem and not telling them. Now he wants to run off and join Moiraine, I think. And they go to this crazy place here, but that looks like it has Forsaken statues.
Yeah,
like
right.
The
Forsaken statues in the back.
I don't know what's going on there.
All right, so that's kind of strange to me that's the conclusion that they draw. I mean, this could be misdirection, right? Like in clever editing and stuff. But I mean, if that's the conclusion that they have drawn, I'm like, wow, it's
interesting.
I don't know. You don't have a lot of evidence.
There are 4 people here. Hold on a second.
Want to Lanfear, you should.
Hold on. If you look at this, it looks to me like there's one person here, 2, and then there's a 4th, and there's 3 holding. I know you're all saying there's like not a person standing next to Loyal on the horse in episode 6, whatever.
No, there's totally a person.
But it looks like there's 4 people here. Is there another person here, or there's a horse?
No, I think those are horses.
So if it's a 4th person, it's Alana, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
so we're only seeing this conversation, but Alana's here.
Yeah, I think it's just 3 of them.
But if Alana's there, how's Lan going to get by
so
them?
okay, I guess maybe now I'm understanding it. They're looking into the poem, right? They're investigating it. They're going somewhere, and he is either deciding that he's going to leave or whatever. Maybe he's about to enter somewhere, and they're questioning him now. Like they've talked about this, and now they're questioning like his allegiance. Okay, I can believe. Okay, that makes a little more. I didn't understand. Like the first time I watched it, I was like, "What's happening here?" Yeah,
I was very confused by that the first time I watched it too.
That makes a lot more sense. By the way, let's bring our first caller in, and then we can ask them about what they thought about that teaser. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
This is April.
Did you say it's Aprilyn?
April.
So welcome. Thank you very much. I know you were waiting for a while, April. So I appreciate that. So it's good to hear your voice. So what are your thoughts about the teaser? what we just saw. Did you watch that with us, and kind of what did kind of stand? I guess what stood out for you?
Well, Moiraine thought that Lan was a dark friend in New Spring and chased him around like that. So I wonder if that is just a callback to that.
I do like that. Okay. Yeah, I love that there's even a callback in that idea of itself. I like that a lot. What do you think about the Egwene side of this? Are you ready to see this? Or yes. Okay. Yeah.
No.
And no, right? Like, yeah,
no,
it does,
but I do have a theory about. I do have a theory about Egwene's story.
Okay.
And
go for it.
I'm wondering if Fane will visit her, and that will be like a mirror of when Egwene visited Fane in the dungeons at Sul'dam.
Okay, I'm into that. Like, that would be a cool. Fane visiting Egwene in the kennels would absolutely be a cool, like, I hope they picked up on that one. That's a great, yes, please do that.
Yeah.
Joe, I saw that thought.
Yes.
Do you like this? Do you like this idea? Are you on board already? Or are you like, nah, we can't spend that kind of time.
I'm on board for anything that has more Fane in it. So give it to me.
By the way, Lanfear crashes the wedding or we riot poll in chat. About 200 of you voted on this. 73%. This idea has definitely it's gained a life of its own. A lot of people want this to be the case. April, are you going to be sad if we don't see a Lanfear wedding crash moment this season?
Absolutely. We need that.
I need Fane.
She's
I definitely
right behind me.
I need Fane. I need Fane to go talk to Egwene in the kennels. Yes, I need that. And Lanfear, whether or not it's this episode or not, Lanfear moments. That Lanfear crash in the wedding would be just amazing. So April, I asked you a couple questions coming in. Did you have a question? You've been waiting online or waiting to get in here. Was there a question that you have for us or a comment you wanted to make about episode 5 or 6?
Do you think Perrin will spy on Lanfear and Rand in Tar?
Ooh, getting Perrin into tel'aran'rhiod and then seeing. Basically, you're asking specific to them being up on that, like, butte, if you will, like the plateau. Okay, because we do.
Yes.
I saw in the trailer. Isn't there in the trailer? There's like a scene where Perrin kind of looks and he seems like he's in the desert with a wolf. I thought
he's in the desert and Hopper's there.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask everyone here: are we going to see Perrin in Tar?
We haven't gotten any mention of the wolf dream yet at all, and I'm very surprised that Elias didn't bring it up. Elias was not very helpful.
Wolf dream. You know, Perrin was tracking Dark Friend meetings, in the early books, and I don't know. I think it would be like he gets to see that Rand's alive, or at least gets a hint.
Oh,
Perrin
that's
seeing
right.
Rand. Perrin seeing Rand. Hopper, Lanfear noticing him. Hopper kicking him out. That would be so on point. Yes, you were bringing like some. You have my two favorites. Like I need to see what. Okay, April. Before we let you go, is there another scene, the theory or idea of a scene that you have coming up that I would like just as much as the ones you've just brought up?
No pressure.
I need to see
really
Fane.
excited you asked me that. But...
No, I know. Do you have any others? Because
No.
I'm serious. No. Okay. Well, if you do, call back. Those are amazing.
Right.
Those are two amazing ideas of scenes. Thank you very much for bringing them into our minds. I really want to see both of these now, and I always feel bad. Like I'm sure out there people are like watching this that have put the show together, and we get stuck on an idea, and we're like Lanfear crashing the wedding is now like a stuck idea. So like I need to see it, and if I don't, it'd be sad. It'd be sad. Well, April, thank you very much for calling. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Have a good
April.
one. Bye bye.
Mm-hmm.
That was freaking great. I love that. Let me look at oops, 1 second. I think. Oh, I don't know if I lost accidentally. I might have dropped myself out of our call-ins. That's hilarious. So yeah, I will. I'll try to get connected to the call-ins here, but I want to point this one out. Thank you very much. Dana said, "Can't wait to see the Rima scene. Bale in the books saw her warder get killed as she was collared. Her grief made her succumb to the collar quick enough that she collars Jolene, Edicina, and Teslin." So, yeah. What do you think about the sul'dam? It seemed people talked about this with the sul'dam. That looks like maybe she's new because she doesn't have tattoos, and you see in that teaser, like you start to see like a tattoo on her face. But at first she doesn't have any in like the last episode. Do you think they're trying to give us like a new sul'dam? This is kind of like Egwene is being trained by someone new, if you will.
Yeah, I think that could be viable, but I want to point out that it's not tattoos; it's scarification.
Sorry, I shouldn't say.
Face.
Yeah, I shouldn't call it tattoo.
Whereas the blue,
yes,
the blue is either tattoos or some kind of makeup. Could be tattoos, and there's other cultures that could be pushing not into the show for that. So, yeah, but yeah, I mean that tracks. I think she could be, a that could be how they determine the tier of sul'dam, right? Like, are you an apprentice sul'dam, a master sul'dam, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense.
That would make a little bit more sense there, because who do you think that she's actually beating up there? They don't show us the face. Do you think that is Rena, or do you think it is, or do you think
I think it's Rena?
Do you think it's Rena?
I think it's Rena.
Is there. It looks like the hair is her.
Yeah. Okay.
The question is that really happening or not?
That's what I want to ask everyone. Are we gonna? By the way, are we going to see Perrin and tel'aran'rhiod watching Lanfear and Rand? 53% of you said yes. So I'm going to end that poll. I know it's only up there for 3 minutes because I want to ask this: is that Rena? It's Rena, right? Who Egwene is beating up? Yes or no?
You see the braid.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, but again, that kind of like there could be someone else with a braid there. In fact, I wasn't sure if like they could have played with her mind, right? They could be playing with her mind a little bit and making her hit someone she doesn't want to hit.
That's true too.
Or like you said, giving her that moment of like she's hurting herself by hitting something that's not actually there.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's the other question I want to ask here, which is, is this Rena? And then is this real? Is this happening? By the way, I'm going to try to reconnect to the phone line here. It might kick some of you out. I might have to move back to starting shortly. It'll just be a second. Like if that happens, don't worry. If we do, we'll be right back. But yeah, I'm going to try to reconnect everybody. I think I accidentally disconnected from the calls, and so hopefully that doesn't happen. I will know here shortly. I'll know in I should know here in a couple seconds.
I think I saw it come back.
Okay, cool.
If you notice the
welcome host.
There it is.
If you want to use the rumors that appeal.
I think we're back. I think we welcomed. We were welcomed by. See, there we go. We quickly. I think we're in. Yeah, go ahead. And we still have 3 callers left, so we'll try to get you guys in here shortly. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just really quickly, like the shot of her punching. If you notice, it looks kind of strange. Like she's punching and then like it speeds up really fast. Like it's not like reality. Almost. That's what it made me feel like. Like they were trying to show that this isn't reality.
Let's go back and watch that again here.
If what you say is true, then all of our sisters are in grave danger.
There's a place on the outskirts of the palace complex where they keep the Damane.
Padan Fane, better visitor.
What is this place?
Your home.
Underneath that sweet exterior, if anyone can survive that place, it's her.
See, that last punch was like, it looked kind of sped up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just the way it was shot or the way
150 of you quickly voted on this is that Rena who Egwene is beating up. LightBlindedFool, how did you answer this question? Were you a yes
I
on this
answered a yes. But I don't think it's real.
Okay.
Because I don't think they're going to have the end of that in the next episode.
Yeah, that would be really quick. I feel like they're kind of teasing us to make us think that is going to happen, and we're not going to, like, as in suggesting that there's going to be an end to that. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be really strange to have that be a single episode arc. Is that Rena who is Egwene is beating up? 90% of you are pretty sure it is. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So she still has the collar on too. Egwene definitely has the collar on in that scene.
Yeah.
So.
Is this happening? How do we say this? Is this real?
Is it real? Yeah.
Is this real?
That's a good way to phrase it.
Okay.
But I need to interject here. I need to drop, actually.
You out of here?
Yeah, I got to be out of here. I appreciate you for having me on, though.
Absolutely. Truly. Vance, it was awesome to hear your voice again, and we hadn't talked for a while, so thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Vance.
Bye, Vance.
Vance is gone. It's just the two of us, gentlemen. So interesting. The poll is not as clear on that point as I thought it might be. We might not, by the way, get all of you had kind of ideas and thoughts you wanted to share here. Let me bring our next caller. Hopefully we can hear them and all working well. So let's go. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
It's the other April. It's April Pixie.
The other April. Okay, I don't know if April just set you up a little bit. Like, I was really impressive. I don't know if you're sweating it at this point. I don't know if you were like, I need to fast think this through because Matt has another April on and is going to expect it. I kind of do a little bit. So April, do you have an idea here, like of a scene that you hope we see that we haven't like been teased about coming up in episode 6?
Yeah, I'm just actually going back to make sure I say it right. Okay. Is anyone else concerned that we're not getting Choden Call?
That we haven't seen it yet, or you think that we're not getting it? Like, do you think that
the
maybe
fact that we haven't seen it, like the fact that we haven't seen it yet, or even that it's been mentioned yet. So when the trailer came out, I was pretty convinced that when we saw Lanfear and Rand, like on the mountainside, I thought they were going to be looking down and seeing it.
Yeah.
But obviously that has not happened. And now with the changes to Barsanis, I don't think we're going to get it, and I'm rather concerned. That's a big deal.
Yeah, Joe, you were saying something about that.
I was just going to say, I mean, they don't need to introduce that right now. I mean, that could show up anytime,
like in Tyr or something. They can move it out of Cairhien.
I mean, it could be in. Yeah. I mean, we find he finds the access keys in Ruidian, right? Lanfear, they're in Ruidian, and Lanfear's the one I think who brings them out or something like that, or he finds them. So I mean, there's still time for that to happen. We don't need to see the big statue right now. I don't think
it would be really interesting to find out that her sister has been. Like, that's a project that she's working on. Like that's to bring their family. You know, like I would really be cool if Moiraine's like does something or finds out like that has happened. I like that idea that they would still have it there. They're staying in Cairhien, right? Like as far as we know, at least this next episode, if not another one, right? We're going to be in Cairhien, so they could certainly introduce some. You know, as Moiraine digs into what her sister's been up to, they could include it. I think it's possible actually that we might see something like that still, even though we haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah,
because I think it's still possible. Yeah,
we've seen a lot of the Cairhien countryside so far this season, so the fact that it didn't show up yet, I would think it's probably not going to show up.
I mean, Lanfear never would have taken Rand there. Okay, so she would have avoided the Choden Call for sure.
Oh no, I think she would have definitely taken him there.
Oh, I don't think she would have taken him there. Like, no way.
She would take him there. Yeah.
I don't think she. I think she would keep him away from that kind of thing. That would. That's how I read. I thought in the books that she was like. I thought that she was aware of it and she didn't want him to go near it.
Yeah, she was really frightened actually. Which was out of character in the books for her at that point when it happened.
Yeah,
so, she'd want to keep him away until she knows like he's under her thumb or something, and then once he has the ability to use them, she'd be all about it.
Yeah. By the way, is this real? This is about a 50-50 poll. Yes and no. Okay, so they have us kind of wondering on what Egwene's happened. I don't believe. April, do you have any reason to believe that the Damane sul'dam Egwene's capture ends? Do you think they would ever end it at the end of episode 6, or do you think that's going to go on at least for 2 episodes? April?
It really does need 2 episodes, right? Like at least an episode and a half, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like an end of episode 7 could really that would work into a finale into episode 8. They could even carry it into early episode 8 potentially. So with the kind of trying to break her out, and figure that thing out. You have a little bit of that going on with Elaine and Nynaeve. So, well, April, thank you for bringing another great topic. Yeah, do you have a question for us?
I had two things. Hopefully, it'll be quick for you guys. From what we were just talking about, we're pretty solidly convinced we're getting the Battle of Falma at the end of the season. So that's going to be episode 8, right?
But yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think we're. Okay. I think so. Yeah. It would be crazy if we didn't. That would be. So yeah, go ahead. What was the other comment you were gonna make?
Okay, I agree. I didn't know if anyone else was like, well, maybe that's early in 8, and we'll get something else towards the end. That kind of thing. Putting that aside, something a friend of mine pointed out, and this is at the beginning of this most recent episode. Is it? Yeah, the beginning of this most recent episode with your favorite Lanfear. It was pointed out to me that the way she uses her hands on her body, like before she heals, it's as if she is reversing the wounds, like she's sort of zipping herself back up and reversing. And that's why there's no blood on the floor anymore or on her clothing, because it's not so much a healing as a reversing.
So like some balefire weave or some kind of that's really okay. So that is a fascinating question. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to let you go. You can listen to the kind of what we think about that. What's your answer to that? Do you agree with this theory? Are you on board with this?
Upon rewatching it, I definitely see what they're talking about. Like I do see it, and it's a good explanation for why there's no blood in her clothes, and there's no tear in her shirt anymore, and all that kind of thing.
No,
I'm not sure how much I believe it, but it's good.
We're gonna
so I wanted to share it with everybody.
It is a really great one. I love this theory. So we're gonna go watch it right now. Thank you very much, April. You did it. You brought it. I really appreciate that. That was awesome. The Aprils are on fire tonight, everyone. I don't know if there's another April out there who wants to call in with the ideas. So it's awesome chatting with you. And that's Aprils. It's only Aprils tonight. Hey, have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep, bye. So okay, we're gonna watch this. I'm gonna ask everyone to you can wait to watch it here and then answer. So, was Lanfear's healing reversing time in some form or fashion, and we'll say, AKA balefire-ish? How about that? Yes or no?
I just watched it. Sorry, I jumped ahead of all you.
No, that's okay. We're gonna.
I think it's just a really cool effect that that they wanted to do, the CGI people.
Isn't it right here? Yeah, there you go.
Yes, here you go.
Okay. And I took the sound out because I think that helps focus a bit more. Because the cut.
Very interesting theory, but if it was balefire adjacent, there would have to be something to balefire.
Yeah,
well,
it could just be a
it's
time reversing weave.
Yeah, it's like I just meant balefire-ish in the sense of, undoing something, not necessarily that.
It's in like an all-in-one heal, clean, repair type weave.
Yeah, like
there it is.
It did as she's going across, and you do see that.
Yeah,
that's really interesting, actually. Okay, I think I believe, like, if you go look at that, like as her hand comes over. As her hand comes over her chest, watch what they're doing with the clothing. They didn't have to do this.
Yeah, watch the blood pool on the left.
It comes almost back in, and the saw, and then the clothing is right. It's undone. Right, the blood goes away. Oh man, it's something. I think you're right. There is it's just them having fun with some effects, but they could be kind of almost teasing out that there is some kind of very narrow I don't know what you even call it. Again, it's not. That's why I said it was balefire-ish.
Those some sort of time manipulation weave,
and that is what the true power is doing, or the Dark One's doing on behalf of Lanfear. However you want to kind of interpret that. That is the immortality. It's not like a Terminator-esque, I guess maybe in Terminator 2. It's it has a Terminator 2 effect.
A Wolverine fast healing.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I have 3 things to say about it.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
All right. One is similar in a way to Nynaeve in their mass heal in season 1, where she just gets rid of all the blood and everything when she heals. Number 2 is that Aes Sedai can, clean their clothes anytime they want, right? So they can just do a weave to clean that up. And the third thing is, even if she couldn't do that for some reason, maybe it's like a Mask of Mirrors thing to just make her look the way she wants, despite maybe still having bloodstained clothes underneath. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's other possibilities, but I like the idea of the reverse time.
Yeah, that's
cool
Control Z weave. I like it. So was Lanfear's healing reversing time in some form or fashion, aka Balefire's? Yes, 45%. No, 55%. So I like that. Penny said, I think this theory may be deeper than the writers deserve credit for. I don't know. I guess what Penny is referring to is maybe that moment where Nynaeve, because of the effects, appears to die at the end of the episode in episode 8 of season 1, but wasn't actually dead, even though all of us look and it looks like she's dead. There's an effects thing there, but it's and Art's pointing out that a golem could heal itself similarly because it's a whole entity, meaning the clothes are part of her. Yeah, there's that aspect of it. Elfwitch,
magic, everybody.
Wouldn't
magic.
Reverse Balefire be a skip to the future? It's magic, exactly. That was an interesting choice. And this is an interesting. It could be said that since the one power is the force of creation, the true power is the power of uncreation. So what is done with the wheel, can be undone in almost a Balefire-like way. So interesting. Sent in. Sorry, I missed the super chat here from Kate. If it lasts until 8, she'll be weaponized against her friends and Skyfight. On the tower in Falma, we see in the tower, the BTS sizzle reel. Yeah, we do see that. If it lasts until 8, she'll be weaponized against her friends. That's true. That's a good point. Thank you, Kate, for pointing that out. If this moment with Egwene did last, it has to end before that moment happens. So that's a good point. This is the content we came to Dusty Wheel for. I agree. Those were awesome ideas. We'll probably only be able to take one more call this evening. Sorry for everyone that kind of called in. We never have long enough to discuss. Thank goodness tomorrow's show is much longer than this. But I will definitely be able to take this caller and probably no more. I apologize for those that are waiting. Let me bring them into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, this is Old Capture for Robert.
I'm just going to call you April 3.
Talk to you guys again.
You're just going to be April 3 tonight.
Born in April. Dude.
So, no, tell me your name again. Sorry, I totally missed it.
I'm this old Cav trooper. I was the guy that called in last year with the Layla theory that she was a dark friend.
Well, that one, I don't know if you watched last season's last episode last week. There we go. But that
I did.
That
I
theory...
watched it, and I heard the caller afterward about reviving that whole thing that Rafe had pretty much debunked.
I know.
So
it's now got
kind of interesting.
It's got life, man. It's got life out there. I've seen it on social media.
I know. It won't go away. Really. It's kind of like the evil villain that just won't go away. Sort of like Lanfear, you know, the bad girlfriend that just won't go away.
Hey.
Hey,
So,
man, she's Rand's girl. Man,
so
even though
yeah,
he doesn't want her.
Right? Yeah, not anymore. What was your thought as you were waiting? What question did you have for us?
Oh man, where to start? Well, I wanted to bring up some things that I got going on. I was going to say that I love what they're doing with Logain, and I think they're going to wrap him up into Asmodean's character and possibly even Taim. But I think more Asmodean than Taim, and I would be really sorry to see it if it is Taim too, because even though I think I don't remember the actor's name, I think he would play an absolutely wonderful evil guy. I just hope they kind of keep him as the good mentor, and then along the lines Logain played in the whole story, you know.
And I definitely think we're getting Taim.
I'm kind of disappointed about the whole thing with Matt, man. They're kind of trashing Matt's character. I don't like it.
Yeah, Matt's a tough one right now because, well, I feel like they're bringing him back, but they aren't. We don't have this luck aspect of Matt. There's like a strange melancholy about Matt still, and
and he had a little bit of that in the books. But the bottom line is they didn't just trash him; they trashed his entire family. Well, I mean, his dad is a successful horse trader in the books, and here he's a drunk philanderer. You know,
they've definitely
broken.
I don't know if you've heard me talk about this one. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this one because they do that. Do you think that they have? In other words, do you think there's any possibility when we go back to the Two Rivers that you think that they're going to write in a redemption arc? In other words, kind of create something from it?
I'm really pulling for that, but I don't know, man. They went far down that line. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tough turnaround unless they have significant time spent with like a turnaround with maybe Thom or something, or not Thom, but with Rand's dad. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Tam. Yeah. Tam. Yeah. That one really in season 1 really affected people. I always joke it didn't affect me, and so I tease this one out because I'm always like, no one was talking about Matt's dad.
Well, you're a Lanfear fan. Well, I mean, you're already a dark.
No one was talking about Matt's dad like on forums for 30 years until they make him, until they, as people say, trash Matt's dad. I've gotten to this point in season 2, and I don't know if you're starting to feel this with season 2. I'm not fully there with some of their arcs where I'm like, okay, they're doing something here, and I'm willing to see this one through and see what comes of it. It's just that we haven't seen much with Matt yet. I don't know if LightBlindedFool and Joe, you feel this way. We just haven't seen much, and so I don't feel like people have moved away from that feeling.
You're going to have trouble.
Yeah. People haven't moved away from this.
You're going to have trouble carrying all.
Maybe when we go back to the Two Rivers, Natty Cawthon will be the wisdom.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be.
Yeah.
But they brought her into that testing, which I thought was really well done, and put her in that position. And so I'm wondering again, when they knew they were going back to the Two Rivers. I didn't take her as evil in that, but I took her as in like.
She was. If you remember in the testing in the books. Yeah, and then she was spiteful because she was being called out on it. Which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm too much of a Matt fan to really buy into what they're doing. But I mean, besides the point, I'm really enjoying the adaptation.
No, I would feel the same way if Lanfear hadn't gotten some screen time. Let's be honest. If Lanfear hadn't gotten the screen time this season, I would be like really annoyed. And Matt is one of those where I said like, where Matt is, Matt needs more screen time for us to kind of get there to a place where you trust kind of where they're taking something, right? Like I now trust where they're taking a variety of the characters. We just have not had a lot of Matt to build that. So I totally get that you are like, okay, but what are you doing with Matt?
I don't think there's a person who would disagree with what you said there. I think everybody's thinking the same thing. Like, where's Matt? This isn't Matt. And you mentioned before, Matt, that they had the opportunity in episode 4. He's dicing, and you're like, I think everybody was like, oh, is he going to start winning now? And they were like, no, he's still losing. And you're like, what's going on? What is that?
But that's what. That's go ahead, LightBlindedFool. Go ahead.
He was lucky in that he got free room, a bunch of drinks, and he didn't really have much money going into it. So in the books, like he can lose when he needs to. So that could have been luck.
LightBlindedFool, bringing kind of the.
He's not really separated from the dagger yet either. The thing that Moiraine did was just a temporary thing.
We don't know that either.
So until he's completely separated from the dagger, I don't think his luck is going to start being a factor.
Yeah. By the way, the Matt thing is I like because my name's Matt, and so I love as much. Matt doesn't think that Matt is doing this. No, I totally get it. I think there's still a number of episodes left here, and I'm really hoping that they're gonna both with Matt and
I agree,
and the Min storyline. I kind of want to see that develop, and they haven't given us much there.
One last thing I want to throw you a bone here, man, is I think they're going to combine your favorite girl with Samara.
You think so? I don't think they're going to do it.
I think what sold it to me was that last scene, man. I think that was Samurai.
Look, let's be totally clear about this with Lanfear in dreams. Lanfear does whatever she needs to do in a dream, and whatever's going to work for whoever, for her in the dream. She's pigeonholing her to like only white ever, always. I think they were playing with that a little bit. Like they felt like that was the moment. That is how she would appear in this moment to Rand in what is happening in the scene. But we are definitely going to see her in white. Like I have zero doubt at this point that we're seeing her like in the white and silver coming up.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm pulling for you, but I think
you're pulling for me.
Just chewing for Samurai. I mean, look at what Moiraine said about her casual cruelty. That's kind of a setup for being Samurai down the line, in my opinion.
They're all casually cruel. Every Forsaken.
Given.
They
all feed people to Trolloc, But,
I mean, Asmodean was strangely casually cruel in a way that it was just like, what? What did he do? Yeah. No, I appreciate you calling back in, dude. It's been a year, and Layla Dark Friend is still alive. So, congratulations that Layla Dark Friend still lives, man.
I don't know.
Well, we have
you guys have a good night, and Chad, you're awesome.
Sounds good, man. We have 3 episodes left, so I'm hoping for some of the stuff you're talking about that comes up. And honestly, we won't know the issue you brought up with Matt's parents until season 3. So hopefully we see that one, and it'll be interesting to kind of get back to the 2 Rippers and see what they've been doing. Have a good evening, man. We'll talk to you soon. And thank you. The Matt's dad thing, I hadn't talk to people about that one too much because I'm so effusive about like how much I don't care about that. So when it comes up, I'm always like, oh man, I'm trying to kind of like empathize with what they're saying and what fans are saying about it, but I have a hard time. I'm like, we'll find out. But don't mess with Lanfear. Who's that character for you, LightBlindedFool? Like for me, again, it would have been Lanfear this season. Like if Lanfear hadn't gotten the screen time or been kind of like had slow rolled into a plot arc that I just didn't understand and hadn't gotten development, I'd be really disappointed at this point in season 2, I think. Is there a character for you that's been happening, or that if it had happened, it would have been tough for you?
Well, I think it is tough that they haven't given Matt the screen time, because Matt is one of my favorite characters, but we got Aviendha already, so I'm okay.
So Aviendha was the one for you. Joe, was there one for you?
It is Matt as well, but I don't want to get into this now. But like Lan is not. That's not Lan from the books.
Yeah, Lan's character. That's why when we saw him in this preview, so Lan's move aside moment in that preview, I was like, okay, we're going somewhere. And it seems like his demeanor in that moment, I was like, okay, maybe something's going to pick up here with Lan, because, Brian and I just had a conversation about this with Barside Chats. If you go listen to this, you can get kind of, I really don't have time. I don't feel like to do like kind of unfiltered opinion for 30 minutes on my own. But when it's just me and Brian talking on the podcast, I feel like I can just kind of like, just rant. And so, yeah, I kind of, Lan for me is the struggle this season. And you can hear my entire feeling on that podcast episode. Again, Barside Chats, if you guys want to hear it, me talk about it. I just didn't want to like redo it here. But yes, that one to me is a struggle. Not as much again as Lanfear would have been, but I want to see that needs to move and change. So
as long as it starts with an LAN.
Exactly. As long as it starts with an LAN. I like that. I'm going to answer this poll or end this poll. Do you love what they're doing with Logain? 70% agreed with our caller. Yeah. And 30% said no. That actually shocks me a little bit. I'm surprised 30% of you don't like what they're doing with Logain. At least so far.
There's probably people who are just indifferent and are like, yeah, whatever. It's good. I liked what he did in the books and like what they're doing in the show, I guess.
Yeah.
I can imagine some of that. I wanted to ask Matt if you were going to talk about this, just the Rima and the rings, the Aes Sedai rings.
What about what? Like dig in more.
It looks like she's giving them to Elaine.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Let me
right, because she's closing her hand over the rings, like, here, take these.
Ooh, that's yeah. I honestly didn't even I could put this up on the screen here for you all.
I like that because now they can impersonate Aes Sedai.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's about like 15 seconds or so in. Yeah, right here.
What are they doing?
The Ouija board.
And then she closes. Yeah, that's Elaine's hand, I'm pretty sure.
The weaves are going up there. Okay, there's Nynaeve.
I don't know if she's just teaching them, and then she closes Elaine's hand over them, like, you're taking these now.
But why would they care about them? Just to take them back, basically?
I guess, like, she's saying, bring them back to the tower when you go, and
by the way,
where I'm going, I might not make it back.
The blue ring is from Maigan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, that's the part I'm not even ready for. Is they haven't really shown us is the other Aes Sedai that Egwene sees in the kennels, right? That's going to be
definitely.
So yeah, I think those rings are definitely signaling. So this is also a scene that I wasn't sure exactly. Like, I feel like they're going to do something like really cool. Like
maybe that's
Warder,
the fire tornado. They're just going out in a blaze of glory.
I think she was doing John Cena there.
No, there's like clearly like something's going on here. I don't know if it's like again, that's going to be really interesting. I think. What are they doing? Oh, it's interesting. You could ask, where is she at? Right? Does this look like? This looks like it's near the kennels, doesn't it? So. Yeah. They talk about, so look at the wall there, and don't they talk about it here? Let's look. I thought so he says kennels. Does it look like the same? I guess it doesn't look like that.
Could be.
Yeah,
outside it.
I thought maybe it might be the kennels, but
no, it's different. It's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. Okay, so I don't know exactly where that's at. Okay.
I think they're making it a distraction so that they can maybe try to escape, but still it's too soon.
Yeah, it feels too soon to be doing that. The next episode is a musical, and they're having a dance off with the Seanchan. Yeah. Zoom in. I know. Tonight this isn't the moment for the deep zoom in on these. Sorry about that, Alberziers. We're actually coming to the end of the show tonight, everyone. I have to get back to do some work, actually. So have to end on just 2 hours tonight. Thank you both for being here. Joe, LightBlindedFool, welcome for your first show here. Do you have like any final thoughts, something we didn't focus on, any final kind of notes before going into episode 6 tomorrow?
I just have to make actually a shameless plug for the Third Age board game Wheel Up Time. If you look for them on YouTube, it's been amazing to play this game for the last 2 years. It's my community outside of Dusty Wheel, and hope you join us as well sometime, Matt. But it's amazing.
I need to find some time to do some other stuff other than
people.
Everything else that I going on. So no, I appreciate that, throwing that word out. I've tried to peek into some games from time to time. I just taking on even more stuff I haven't had time to do much lately. I don't know if you're feeling that way, Joe. Like are you always thinking podcast stuff all the time?
I'm questioning your dedication, Matt.
I don't think my fellow Innkeeper is here, by the way. I'm gonna see if I can't. I'll try to do the raffle here, everybody. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. You can answer that question.
I was just going to say, I think maybe we're going to get a Rima getting captured by the Seanchan scene, potentially. You know, we see the burst of fire at the end of that preview, and her channeling obviously outside and giving the ring. So maybe this is like her either trying to do something and getting captured or not. But I just want to say, I hope we didn't see any Matt or Min in this trailer. We better get some Matt and Min. They're not going to go 2 episodes without Matt.
Yeah, I feel like we have to get some Matt and Min in this one. I'm hoping we're going to get some. I'm hoping they're like, I don't know why you wouldn't show Matt. Like, he's such a fan favorite. Like, show us what's going to go on. By the way, we did start the raffle. If you would like to join in on the raffle for Dusty Swag giveaway. As I said to be real, if you've won one recently, it's probably not going to be till October that I get to these. There's just too much going on. But I will get to these, I promise. I caught up on 18 of them the last time I did this. I'll probably have 18 more to do at that time. Mm-hmm. A last note from the Loyal fan: have Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve been checked for concussion protocols based on the amount of times they've been knocked out? Yes, I think that should happen. And similar to fake out deaths, I'm hoping we don't continue to see more knockout moments for those two. But yes, that was a little bit weak. I don't know why they felt like they had to do that versus just like Nynaeve sees a symbol on a sign and recognizes a symbol that's like one of the Aes Sedai wisdom, or like that would have been a really easy thing. Like she goes in to try to find an Aes Sedai, and I don't know why they had to knock him out. That was like weird. I don't know if Joe, did that bother you? Logistically speaking, did the knockout bother you? No,
it made sense just to move the story along really quickly. Let's just knock them out and they wake up and get to the point. We don't need to have any conversation. I mean, the other knockout, right? The Liandrin knocking them out is the one that
I love that one.
Yeah, I mean, they could have woke up though, and I don't know. I mean, they had the option to do it like the books, but I think the whole point of not doing that was just so they could have that scene between Liandrin and Sarath, which was a really cool scene. The conversation they had, I love that. So I'm fine with that.
By the way, Kate said Egwene was not in episode 5 trailer, by the way. Okay, so good point. Yeah. There's no doubt that if Matt wasn't in this episode, that would be wild. By the way, you probably have, when you hear this, since there's about a 20-second delay, you probably have about 40 seconds left to join the raffle. We put an exclamation point raffle into chat. If you are elsewhere and you hear this and you want to try to jump in the next 40 seconds, you can jump over on YouTube and join the raffle. We'll do a giveaway here shortly. Thank you again, both. If you want to follow, I think that I saw links in chat. I'll make sure those links get up to the description. If you want to follow tel'aran'rhiod and the journey that they are taking right now with their non-reader, it's Brandon, right? Did I get that wrong? Brandon. Dang it. He probably gets that a lot. Sorry, Brandon. Apologize.
That's okay. He's not watching this.
He'll never see this. This never happened. There's no way he spent 2 hours into this thing. If you want to follow their journey, you guys are doing podcast episodes. Are you also posting these on YouTube? Where can people follow you if they want to? Because you like the clips. Is it just mostly like clips of your episodes that you do?
Yeah, I mean, we put the whole episodes on YouTube as well as releasing them on regular podcasts apps and podcast places. But yeah, every once in a while, like we'll pull a clip from the episode and do something fun with it, like that one. And I know you you had called it out on Twitter, so I was like, let me just pull this clip really quick. Put some of the episode clips to it because
that's how you felt
passionately about it.
You felt like you were like, and I'm going to put this out here, and Matt's going to call me to be on the show and to talk about it. I'm going to end this raffle. I'm going to close entries. Good luck, everyone. About 91 of you decided to enter. The winner of today's raffle is... I didn't see it. Is it Jesse Bree has one Dusty Swag. I was like, where it usually pops up. Jesse, congratulations. All you have to do is reach out to me on Discord or on social media. You can jump to Discord in the description of this video and just ask around when you get in there, like, hey, how do I find the Innkeeper? I won the raffle, and all I need is your email address sent to me, and I will get that out, like I said, in October. Basically, it's a gift certificate to our store where you can buy a mug, similar to one of these or one of those mugs up on one of the Dusty Wheel ones. There's a variety of other mugs that you cannot buy from that store. But yeah, you can't even see it, can you? Hold on.
No, I'm in the way. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, get out of the way there. That mug right there. You can grab if you'd like. Oh yes, LightBlindedFool, showing a little mug flex there. I love it. Thank you. Sorry I couldn't do all the calls today. I apologize that we weren't able to get to all of them, but this has been a lot of fun. And again, Jesse, congratulations on winning that one. And yeah, episode 6 is tomorrow. And don't forget to be there for the after show. We actually do we call it the after show, but it's like a pre-live watch and after show. We start about a half an hour before it begins. We meet up, no spoiler kind of discussion there. We basically just kind of just chat and prep and watch it live on, and you can stay there with us or you can go away and come back afterwards. And then we have a couple hour long discussion afterwards about the episode. So that'll be tomorrow. Check us out at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And, you may have heard I might be doing the finale, waiting to watch the finale episode a week after it airs. That's right. I may be off of social media for 7 days after. It's going to be a really crazy, weird thing, but we are still going to do an after show. My fellow Innkeeper will be doing the finale after show. And then like the following week, I will be doing a finale live watch discussion. And hopefully I'll be able to kind of advertise more about that in the coming week or two about like what that's going to be. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Like people keep on asking. I'm like, I want to go into watching the finale in this live watch scenario, like having never seen it before. That's like the whole premise of it. So that means I'd have to leave for 7 days while everyone talks about the end of the show. It's going to be a strange thing. I know. I see you shaking your head, Joe. I know. I feel the same way. You're like,
crazy,
what are you freaking doing? Why do you do that? So that'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm still committed. I'm still committed to that.
You do it for all your followers.
That's right. I think you'd have, knowing what's going to happen. I think you'd have fun walking into that and me not knowing. There's a lot of that. Sometimes people are like, you know something and we don't know. Those will be flipped in that moment. I think it'd be fun. So that's it, everybody. Go do something else here.
Thanks for having me on, Innkeeper. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. LightBlindedFool is awesome for having you here. Yeah, we'll have you back. I'll pick somebody else out. Also, I know a lot of you in chat. I see you all the time. I'll grab one of you and have you come on. And haven't done enough of that, so loved having you on. Hope you had a good time, and thank you again for bringing that new spring stuff in. That was a blast.
Yeah.
Like that was.
I'll leave you with this. How did Liandrin sign out Elaine in the novice book before she knew she was going with them?
She didn't. She did it afterwards. Somehow that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't know.
I have to go back now. See, this is one of the things I have to dig into. I can't dig into it right now. Yeah, that one's good. Go ahead. So
I got it right. She knocked out the girls, went back, used compulsion on Shiriam, and that's how she did it.
There you go.
By the way, vacation for Innkeeper delayed from September 1st, episode 8. Yeah, somewhat. Hey, thank you all again for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this, and see you tomorrow at the after show. And as we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel, and smash to black.
Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the two rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So,
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm
sad.
not
I see Lukomi as something along the lines of a Shida Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge! Yay!
Terrible, like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just
like,
a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
and
elements.
Just a moment ago, Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,